Welcome, fellow Kiwanians. Sorry we're getting started a little late this morning. We had a little crazy with the connections here, so we're trying to work that out. Want to say congratulations to Kevin Reeder and his wife, Courtney, on the birth last week of their third child, Virginia Page. We do have a card that we're going to send around. We just found out that Pegram Johnson has a new grandson born on Tuesday. So congratulations to Pegram. And we had encouraging news about Reggie Wood, that he's doing better and doing well. We're still not out of the woods, but he's doing better. And got some great news to see Jill Sluss on our Zoom screen today. So glad to see Jill back. Our invocation today is going to be led by Dave Perry.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon. I'm at that point in my life and in my prescription here that I don't know if I should have my glasses on or off to read this. So you guys are kind of a blur. There are many things in life that we can't control, and some people would say most things we can't control. And there are some things that we can, but we usually end up worrying about both. And Mark Twain is purported to have said, worrying is like paying a debt that you don't owe. The late 19th and 20th century theologian Reinhold Niebuhr is credited with writing the Serenity Prayer, which many of you all probably heard. It's appeared in many forms over the years, but all the forms begin more or less the same, with an appeal to God to help us sort those things which we can control from those things which we can't, and to act on those which we can control. This is an important practice in a time in which there are many troubles in the world and which we cannot control, yet which bombard us constantly on our computers, our phones, the radio, TV, newspapers. But at the same time, our community has needs which we can control, and it is there that our attention should be focused. So if you would bow your heads, and I will read one of the later versions of Niebuhr's Serenity Prayer. God, give me grace to accept with serenity the things that cannot be changed, courage to change the things which should be changed, and the wisdom to distinguish the one from the other, living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking, as Jesus did, the sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. Amen.
Thank you, Dave. And Tom Miller is going to be our song leader today.
Well, knowing that there's a music program today, right here, we've got all kinds of music. Someone could have just slid over and handled this, but I'm here. We're going to do America the Beautiful, okay? Judy, America the Beautiful. Thank you. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Great. That sounded good from up here. with Tom and Brooke. Jackie's going to do our pledge today.
Thank you, President Clark. Please join me in the pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. We have a new member, Diane Dehavens, going to introduce our guest today.
I'm a lot shorter than y'all. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm actually a returning member after a whole lot of years, but Don Wilson recruited me back into the fold about a year ago. So glad to be back. I recently relocated my office. I'm over at the 419 office with First Citizens Bank. I can talk to you about retail and business and investments. If anybody ever has a need, I'd love to help you. But I'm glad to be back. So my job today is to introduce the visitors as well as their host. If you all will please both stand together, and we still want everybody to stay upright until we're done.
Sure.
And everybody still stand up until we announce everybody. Okay. Okay. So the first one is Kelly Lancaster, our guest, and the Kiwanis host is Clark. Are they here? Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm her host.
Okay. All right. Nick Hagan and Stephanie Moon. Back there in the back. Okay, thanks. Mike Adams and Guy Bird. There's Guy. Where's my, oh, okay, he's staying with him. Okay. Kayla Henson and Clark Goodman. And then Chloe Leitner and Clark Goodman. And we would like to invite you all, if you ever wanted to become a member of Kiwanis, we'd love to have you join. Thank you all for being here today. Thanks. Back up to your height.
All right. We do have some announcements today. And I do have some brag bucks today. So please make your announcements quickly. Upcoming nature park activities.
Thank you, President Clark. Good afternoon, everyone. So glad to see you all here. We have some upcoming activities just for your enjoyment and because it would help us grow our garden. So please get in touch with me if you are interested in joining the likes of Ryan LaFontaine, Joe Lemmer, John Eward, and others, Don Witt, who have helped us grow a fabulous garden. You'll actually get to catch butterflies, take a look at the butterflies anyway, and see the bees hovering there. It's really delightful, only made possible because we have a brigade of volunteers helping out. So let me know if you can volunteer. We have other opportunities for you. If you're the kind who likes to roll up your sleeves, put on some gloves, and help us clean up Roanoke, we are aiming to improve the water quality of the creek that goes near our future nature park. And the way we're going to do that is to clean up litter on Melrose and going up Lafayette. August 27th, put the date on your calendar. If you are available to help us volunteer that day on August 27th, join us at 10 at the Goodwill Center. We'll meet up there and then we're going to clean up that watershed area. Our committee meets. We have a very exciting committee meeting. Imagine that, an exciting committee meeting. Actually, it really will be on Monday, August 8th at Melrose Library at 4. We're going to take a look at schematic designs of our future nature park. So feel free. This is an open committee. Feel free to join us. Thank you, President Clark. Oh, August 12th. Can I say that one? August 12th is a really exciting other event, wearing a hat that has to do with the fact that we auctioned off the Roanoke Star, and the group of us Kiwanians who are sponsoring the Star are doing that in the honor of Dr. Brenda Hale. And so I hope you can join us. This will be a lovely ceremony on the top of our beautiful Mill Mountain at the Roanoke Star, when we're going to have a ceremony unveiling a plaque created by our own Eric Danielson in honor of Dr. Brenda Hale, August 12th, 10 a.m. Please join us. Thanks. Betsy Bohannon here, just to talk to you just a few minutes about our backpacks. I think I got 10 more people to donate money today to help us with our backpack project. This is for CHIP. It's the Child Health Investment Partnership. And all of you know that it's not just the children they help in the Roanoke Valley, it's the parents also. And these kids really and truly have nothing. And CHIP helps guide the parents, teach them how to parent, which is hard for us to understand that, but lots of people do not know that. So we have, I think it's like 59 people who have donated. Andre Brooks, every year, ever since I've been in charge of this, Andre Brooks has donated the name tags for 110 backpacks. Did she do that with you, Sherry? So see, that's great. So Friday at 8 a.m., we're going to pull our SUVs up to the Clearbrook Walmart store at 8 a.m. David Farnham, Joyce Montgomery, Alden from CHIP, and I will be there. 4 cars should be enough to load this, and we'll be there ready. I had to take some of the items off because everything is so expensive this year. I told them there wasn't a child in the valley who needed 12 glue sticks a year. And we would not donate those or 100 paper plates. I said, no. So if anyone else wants to donate, you just let me know. I've already given the list to John and he will send out the bills to you next month. Thank you, and thank you.
Joyce Montgomery here for Ducky Derby. Since 1982, the Capital District Foundation has donated approximately $795,000 to local pediatric trauma centers and hospitals. We currently support 11 facilities with annual donations of $3,000, which is possible through our Ducky Derby raffle. As you've seen me selling, tickets are $5 each, 3 for 10, 6 for 20, or however much you would like. Those who are on Zoom, you can email John or put in the chat box. We will be happy to put it on your bill. I will fill out your raffle tickets. So it's a win-win here. Also, anybody else here who buys a lot of tickets, I will fill out your tickets. So bye. Thank you.
So good afternoon, everybody. And my apologies to people on Zoom. Charter Hall's Wi-Fi is acting up just a little bit. So I'm here for 2 announcements. One being that we had a great First Friday's concert event, and thanks again to everyone who volunteered for that. The second one of those is coming up on Friday, September 2nd. And that is Labor Day weekend.
board meeting will be virtual. I know John's going to send out the link to the Zoom meeting for that. Also, we have a new member orientation that's going to be on Tuesday, the 9th at the Water Authority, hosted by Mike McAvoy. And I know you guys love it when our balls touch. So bocce ball tournament is coming up. We're playing bocce again. Love it when those bocce balls touch. It's the best. And we're going to have a good time. We're going to have we're doing mimosas, Bloody Marys, biscuits in the morning. And please sign up. The brochure's on the tables. Thank you. We do have brag bucks today. Ben, I think Ben had a brag.
Just a quick note, a brag buck, but just a quick note about the officers meeting this Friday. Since it's at 7:30, there will not be cocktails. So for those of you that were counting on cocktails, we'll do that next month. I have a brag buck today. On Saturday, Beth and I will be celebrating our 45th wedding anniversary. It was 45 years ago on Saturday that Beth's father wept mightily. And that he was a big, powerful man. And that's the only time I saw him cry. So I have made the customary gift to the foundation and as John Bradshaw has led us to do. Thank you all very much.
Don Wilson, I'd just like to invite everyone to Evergreen Burial Park this Saturday evening at 7 p.m. for a free music night. We're going to have Tim Martin playing. A lot of you know Tim from the Vikings band, and he's going to play an hour-long set, kind of easy listening, soft rock, and bring a blanket, bring a picnic, bring your beer if you want. It'll be at the Chapel Mausoleum at the corner of Summit, or rather of Windsor and Brighton Road. So come on out Saturday evening at 6. It's free, and enjoy a little bit of music from Tim Martin. Thank you.
We have any other braggers today?
Well, we have one on Zoom, if you can hear me.
All right, great. Today's program is Anna Preston with Bocce Music Academy. And we're going to let Brooke Tolley do the introductions. Thank you.
Good afternoon. It's good to see you all today. I know Anna in the capacity of a friend and one of my favorite collaborative pianists. We do many things together, but I'm happy today to be introducing her in a little bit of a different capacity. She's a resident of Botetourt County, and she delights in her life as a teacher, accompanist, and vocal coach. She's helped me quite a few times. As a seasoned teacher of 24 years, Anna has served on the piano faculty of Westminster Conservatory, as well as Shenandoah University's Arts Academy. Anna has accompanied choirs along the East Coast and as far west as Michigan, including the American Boy Choir, the Princeton Girl Choir, Princeton Pro Musica, and the choirs of Interlochen Arts Camp. In addition, she has loved collaborating with conductors across the world at honors choirs events through the American Choral Director Association. Currently, Anna is pleased to collaborate with Opera Roanoke and myself, as well as the Roanoke Symphony, and she is busy teaching her wonderful piano students. Commencing her 8th year, she serves on the board for Woman Cradle of Abundance, which she'll be talking to you about today, a nonprofit that empowers women in the Congo and is creating a lasting concert series for their benefit. Most recently, Anna has been named Minister of Music at St. Mark's Episcopal Church in Fincastle and is beginning, well, she's already started, a children's choir called the Botetourt Music Academy. Please help me welcome Anna Preston.
What a lovely introduction. And thank you all so much for listening to what I have to say this morning. Speaking of my friendship with Brooke was one of the first friends I ever met here. When I moved here about 5 years ago, I moved down here to be with my husband and his family. So we live on family land out in Bocce, which is a really lovely little spot of the world. So let me, since you've learned so much about me and my life, I do want to share with you one of my favorite projects. As a pianist, when I lived in Princeton, New Jersey, before I moved down here, I was asked to sub for one of my organist friends at a little Presbyterian church, Witherspoon Presbyterian. This was in the summer of 2013. And I didn't really think anything of it. I had been a church musician for many years at that point, and I had was not a big deal to be asked to sub for somebody. I just finished reading a book many of you maybe know, the Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. It's about a family that was born and raised in the Congo and had a big influence on the things happening in the Congo there. And I didn't put those two things together, being a substitute for this church and for the church organist and reading this book. But as I'm sitting there, this woman and her husband come in carrying these amazing clothes with them, which I have some, will you hand me those right there? They looked a little bit like this. Beautiful patterns and beautiful colors. And I just thought, what is this really cool thing? So as the church service goes on and she gives a presentation, I realized that she has founded a nonprofit that empowers these women in the Congo. Now, we don't know a lot about the Congo. We don't talk a lot about the Congo. It's a country that is in a lot of peril all the time. And as I spoke with this woman, Elsie McKee, after that church service, I really felt led to be a part of this, to find a way to have a global reach and to help other people. So I quickly became a board member, and then I learned the story of the amazing woman, Mama Monique, who runs a women's center in the Congo. So this nonprofit, Women Cradle of Abundance, serves the Congo sister, Femme Berceau de l'Abondance. As I joined the board, my biggest project was fundraising, which I did by hosting a 5K, which I still continue to host at our house since we so conveniently live right next to the 5K trail at the Greenfield Sports Center. I also give concerts, and I serve as the website master and help post things on Facebook and send out weekly newsletters. So luckily I can do those things remotely since I no longer live in Princeton and I live here. So my service towards this nonprofit has continued for 9 years. I want to show you some of the things that have happened since I have joined. And if you just bear with me for just one moment, I'm just going to share my screen. Do you know? Do I do just desktop? Okay. Sorry, excuse me for just 1 minute. We're just making sure I did.
Where's Mike back?
Sorry, Mike, if you can help us get this screen sharing, because I'd love to show you some pictures of the projects that are underway. It is, I have it right here. Should I just try that? It's still,
Yeah, it doesn't want to pull up this.
Okay. So get the software you're going to use loaded, whatever you're going to show it on.
The website.
Okay. Let's get rid of
it's gonna want me out of Zoom, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. It is so weird. I'm so sorry. I
That's all right.
was not expecting that was going to be so easy.
Yeah, let's see. I think we're gonna cancel. There we go.
And then just X that out maybe.
Yeah. So why don't you keep talking?
Okay. Oh, there it is. Right here. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, that one. I don't think it's clicked.
Yeah.
I know my button is, there we go.
Yep. Here you go.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much. So sorry for the delay. There we go. Okay, so here. So here's some lovely pictures of some of the women here. Sorry. Here we go. So one of the big projects that has happened since I've become affiliated with this nonprofit is this building has been built completely from the ground up. It's a place of safety for women who are in such a terrible climate. There are terrible stories about things that happen to women. They don't have very many rights in the Congo. And it's hard for us to imagine, but it is still true and still happening. They don't have a right to their own lives. They're forced to marry at the age of 11 and 12. Having children is considered rich, so you're expected to have a large family. There's a lot of pressures that are starting to ease, but it still is quite a problem. So these are just some pictures of the town of the city Kinshasa, just so you can have a feel for what it's like to live there. Now, here is the property that was purchased for this women's center, and just a few pictures of it's being built. The latest addition to this, it was finished in 2018. It has medical facilities, it has classrooms, it has places for people to stay, has a facility for counseling services, and it has a big meeting area. There are about 1,200 women who are served by this group. They go for food, they go for support, and they learn to read and write. And they learn different languages to help them get around the country. We're so spoiled here. We need to learn English, and that's pretty much it. When you are living in the Congo, you know your native language for your village, plus the neighboring villages. And if you're educated, you learn French. When you're educated, you have a promise. So these women gather together in strength and are doing their best to change the system of the society they're growing in. Just recently, the roof on this building was completed. Had to be replaced. Climate change is a huge issue right now in the Congo, as it is in many other places too. But another big project that has been, you'll bear with me for just 1 minute. There's also a farm that was purchased to feed all these women and their families. This just began. It was in a good location, and there was nothing they could do to save their land that they owned. So they found a place outside the city. The drive there is about 2 hours, and there are no roads. Once you leave the city, you basically are off-roading in a Jeep to get out there. However, the nonprofit in the state side has been raising money, and the farmland has now doubled. They're able to plant many crops with ease. They're able to sell these in the streets. They're able to feed many, many families. They started an animal husbandry. They have ducks and chickens and bunnies, rabbits. That is considered an easy meal when you don't have a lot of protein around. There also was a tractor that was purchased, and they just got this tractor so they can plow the fields much more quickly, and they're more efficient with their 50 acres that they now have. The orchard has been planted, and they're hoping that in the next couple of years, as those trees establish, they're going to have much more fruit to offer. The biggest crop is cassava. And another part of the farm project was building this pool that you see here. You have to soak cassava for several days before it's pliable to peel, and then you boil it, and then you compound it into flour. This is very interesting, but we just found at Trader Joe's, you can actually buy cassava chips now. So it's kind of great. Like, we don't have any other cassava here in the States, but now there is a way that we can actually taste it. It tastes like potatoes. It's very similar in nutritional value. And I'd like to share with you my favorite project of Woman Cradle of Abundance now. I showed you and told you about the beautiful dresses that my friend Elsie had with her that day I met her way back in 2013. So this sewing school is so important for these women that live in the Congo. They don't have clothing stores the way we do. You have a seamstress who makes your clothes. They use really strong cotton cloth because you have basically two outfits, and you just keep trading back and forth, and you wash the one and you have it ready for the next time, and so on. It's a very, very different. It's so different from what we know. So the sewing school, they have about 50 students at a time, and they go through years of learning all the basic stitches, how to use a treadle sewing machine, because electricity is not reliable there at all. So everyone learns how to use those old, you can see it here, the Singer treadle pedal. And see this young girl, she's learning, these are her baby clothes that she just made. They start with baby clothes and then move on into more adult clothes. So once you're finished with your schooling at the sewing school, you're given a state honored exam. It's 2-day exam where people from the Congo government come and give you a test on sewing. There are pictures on the wall. You draw a number out of the hat, and you have to make that dress without a pattern, with just the materials that you need. It's pretty amazing. And every year, these women pass the exam. About 12 girls will pass the exam, and then they can open their own business and have a job and give back to their communities. At the end of their time as a student, when they graduate, they receive the sewing machine. So that's part of the American nonprofit side, is funding those sewing machines. It's about $100 for a sewing machine. But then those women are helping change this pressure that they have in their societies by giving back. Another very amazing event that has happened in the last year is Elsie, who is the founder of the American nonprofit, for about 10 years sat with Mama Monique, who is the founder of the Congo nonprofit, recording her stories. So as both educated women, they both speak French really well. So these were all recordings in French that Elsie then translated into English to this book that tells the whole story about how this came to be, how Woman Cradle of Abundance came to be, and how Femme Berceau de l'Abondance came to be in the Congo. I do want to share with you one story about Mama Monique. This is a great story. It explains the political climate. It explains the significance of the education of each woman. And it helps us feel grateful for how lucky we have it. So this story is from 1972, an event that happened in 1972. The Democratic Republic of the Congo was called Zaire at that point. This was under the rule of General Sese Seko Mobutu. And these are the words of Mama Monique. I was just 20, small and thin, a university student on her way home from the capital for the summer. After boat and train, the last leg of the trip was by truck. My brother and I, and quite a lot of people, were crowded in with all our baggage. Suddenly, we were stopped by a military barricade across the road. We had suitcases. I had bought clothes and things for my family. On the truck, there were people from Katanga with their goods too. The soldiers ordered us to get out and let them search our suitcases or bundles. If we did not have sales slips for each item, they would seize it. I got out, but I was not having any of this theft. If you want the suitcases, get them down yourselves. The soldiers were astonished, and the other people were terrified. Mama, why are you doing that? You will get us arrested. Again, remember, this is a woman standing up to a climate where women aren't allowed to have a voice. I will not give you my suitcase. Show me your orders. President Mobutu has forbidden barricades on the roads. People know where I am. If you hurt me, they will come and get you. You don't have the right to search people's belongings. We were speaking Shaluba, but I switched to French. The soldiers hurried to their commander in a brush hut. They said, there's a girl here. She speaks Shaluba. She speaks French. She's reprimanding us. She says that we don't have the right to put up barricades. They know where she is. The commander said, bring her to me. They brought me to him. He said, what? Why are you speaking in front of the soldiers that I sent? I said, Commander, can you show me your orders? If you do, I will obey what you say. He said, you are impolite. I said, when the commander speaks impolitely, you answer him impolitely. If you are the commander, you should know that the Supreme Commander has given orders not to put up barricades, but you have put them here. You should know what awaits you. Even if you kill me today, you will also die. You won't last 2 days. The commander said, okay, good thing I called you over here. You must be some personage, but you should not speak like that when we are working. I said, you are ruining what the president said. You should obey the president of the republic. He said, go. They let all the passengers get back into the truck with their belongings, and we left. When we got to the stop where my father would meet my brother and me, all the people in the truck told my father, what a child you have. What a daughter. No, she is not a daughter. She is a man. She saved us. My father said to me, that is good. You must always be like that. And to them, he said, she is educated. She knows things, and she is not afraid. Why were you afraid? So that was just a small story of many about this amazing woman, Mama Monique. And it is such a gift to read stories like that and to know that she is working so hard to change the way people are living. So I have to share, you may have a question about, well, could I help this organization? Well, of course, absolutely. The one thing that I really like about this is it is a charity, of course, and we are helping our sisters and brothers who are living so far from us. But I can tell you that there is no one who in the nonprofit who gets paid for their work that we do. The board is all a volunteer basis. There's no one who gets paid to put these pictures on the website. That's me. And there's no admin that is getting paid. Any monetary donations are sent directly to the Congo. So that's one reason why I came so involved. It's really nice to have the bigger charities like Red Cross, of course, and others. But this, I know for sure what this money is doing and helping these people live a great life. There are some little cards, I think, on your table. Thanks, Brooke, for sending those out. If you feel so led to go to our website, there's a donate button right on the homepage. You'll just look for these little red buttons down here. There's one for another organization that helps serve the women in Eastern Congo. It's called Hands Across the Water, and Serenity. They're two different. Serenity oversees adult life and improving adult life in Eastern Congo. And Hands Across the Water is a group of children from the New Jersey, some schools that are in kind of middle New Jersey, who help raise funds for a community school that is in the Eastern Congo. So if you feel led to help with that, the FEBA is an acronym for Femme Berceau de l'Abondance, that has the Women's Center and the farm and the sewing school. So if you feel so led to help with school fees or with counseling services and medical services, or helping purchase a sewing machine for these women as they're completing their schooling, I know all of that would be very much appreciated. So that's Women Cradle of Abundance. Thanks for listening. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Oh, yes. So that is a really good question. And I think that the best answer I can give you is just that Mama Monique knows who she needs to talk to make sure those things stay as they are. I know it's a very, very well protected land right there where the Women's Center is. But that is a really good question. I mean, it could be taken at any time, but I think at this point, the shift is really happening. And so I think they are feeling more secure about keeping their property. Probably not. Yeah, I know. It's a very tricky situation there. I have been wanting to go to the Congo since I became a part of this, and it has not been safe for us to go yet. Even in 9 years, we still can't go. Yes. Where do they get all the beautiful material? Yes, that's a great question. So they go to China and purchase the fabrics there and bring them back, because you cannot trust the postal service. You can't send anything via mail there. It will get taken. So the way that these clothes have even come to me is that someone visiting the Congo put it all in a suitcase with other goods and brought it back. We can't ship things that all would get taken immediately. I know, it's crazy to think that people are still living like that in fear all the time. But yes, the fabrics do come directly from a supplier in China. Yes. How does the donation get into Mama Monique's hands? They wire money. We wire money directly from our American bank account into their bank account. So there's no mailing or anything like that. It's just directly moved money transfer through. I think it's Western Union is the service that we use. I can tell you that. I also can tell you that most of that food is eaten by the members of the Women's Center and it goes to their families. And they do sell some of the excess. And I have not heard any stories of that being confiscated. But that doesn't mean it won't happen. You know, it's just, yeah, that's a good question. Is there any other questions? If you have any more, I'm happy to chat with you at the end of the meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna, for that great presentation. We have a speaker honorarium for you today, and it is written to the Women Cradle of Abundance. So thank you for being here. We really appreciate that. Is Mike Obrachta still on Zoom? Because I think he's not. Okay. Just to want to announce we have a new application for membership today turned in. Want to welcome Michael Adams for the application. Thank you very much. Let's give Michael a hand of applause. And next week we have Melissa Gaona from Channel 7 is going to be speaking to us. Thank you, Brooke, for setting that up. And on that note, we are getting out a little early. So y'all enjoy your weekend. Hit me up on the email if you want to play some bocce. I've got 5 teams signed up. All right, we are adjourned.